Okay, so boom, y'all already know what time it is. You are now tuned in with Big Joe and Lil Joe, and today is a special episode. It's a special day because today is Pop's birthday, man. So I want to kick that off with telling Pops happy birthday. Y'all want to tell Pops happy birthday, y'all can jump in the comment section, man. And then not only that, man, if it's anybody want to send something to my daddy, you know what I'm saying? If you send it to my Cash App, okay, so boom, one, or you can send it straight to him. I don't know if you know anything about sending money to prison, but you go to JPay. I'm gonna put it all into the description. You go to JPay. I'm gonna have his information in the description. You know what I'm saying? And you can send him whatever you want to send him. But Pops, anything you want to say?
Man, I want to say thank you, man, for the happy birthdays and whatnot. I really was tripping when you saw it to me earlier. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate that, man. I'm excited about doing this show with you, man. Everybody out there, man, I appreciate the love. You know what I'm saying? I really do, and I'm just grateful, man. Just grateful. I'm just grateful.
Man, we got a huge response, you know what I'm saying, from the video about the homosexuality in prison, man. A lot of people say, you know, we had a different spin about it, you know what I'm saying, a different conversation about it. Right. And then I just remember on the last episode we had a conversation about, we touched on child molesters, but it wasn't a conversation about child molesters. It was a conversation about a guy who had that kind of charge and how he was treated being falsely accused. Right. But I wanted to have a deeper conversation about how child molesters get treated in prison, as far as like how the institution takes up for them and treat them versus the reality of what most people think how child molesters are being treated in prison, how inmates, you know what I'm saying, how inmates treat them. Like, you know what I'm saying, I wanted to have that conversation right there. Like, people don't understand that child molesters in prison a lot of times get way more protection from the administration than people probably recognize.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Yeah, well, but you got to recognize, right, that they almost have to, because, you know, they can't allow them to be mistreated, so to speak, and they know about it, they would be liable, you know what I'm saying? But in here, you know, you see a lot of times, it didn't used to be like that. When I first came into the system, individuals with that particular charge, man, they will not, they wouldn't get the good jobs, they wouldn't be able to walk around the compound because everybody knew about them, and they were at, you know, real risk of being hurt, killed, real talk, you know what I'm saying? But now, it's a little different, man. They have jobs that the jobs on the compound that are like held in prestige, like clerk jobs, maintenance jobs, stuff like that. And everybody knows what the deal is, but it's hands off, because if you put your hands on them, the administration is coming.
When did you notice a change? When did you notice the change in that? And was it something that caused that change? Because it's hard to catch a wave like that through prison, and it changed everywhere. Because when I came to prison, I can remember, you know what I'm saying, I can't remember what prison, well, I think it was Northeast. I mean, no, it was Northwest. I had a neighbor who had one of them charges, and I remember very vividly that, like, they were trying to bump down on him about his commissary and stuff, and this dude literally came out of the cell and went to the CO and was like, hey, and it was almost like they was aware of, oh, this is somebody with this kind of charge. Like, he was able to go tell with no repercussions right in the middle of the pod. And it was like, can't nobody else do that. Can't nobody else be like, man, such and such is picking on me or bothering me. You do that, you getting packed up and you going to PC, they gonna send you to the back. But because of what that charge was, it was man, they shouldn't have been messing with him anyway. Like, they should just left it alone.
Well, it changed from where I sit anyway. It changed like in the early 2000s, man, around like 2004, 2005, because you got to look at it like when I got shipped to Morgan County, one of the first things they said to us, like in orientation, when you first get to a compound, you get orientated by the administration. They tell you what to do, what not to do, the rules and stuff, right? But one of the things that they did say, they told us that, look, 70 to 80% of this compound, the people on this compound have some kind of sexually related charge. Hands off. They told us that if you do anything to any one of these individuals, you will be punished severely. No ifs, ands, and buts. You feel what I'm saying? So they put you on notice, and I think that has spread throughout the system, because, boo, it's so many people that are incarcerated now with sex charges, I just don't think people realize the numbers, because you might live in, like, let's say Nashville, and you'll see the Nashville news, and you'll see the people that get caught up with it, but you're not paying attention to the rest of the state and how many people over the whole state is being arrested for those types of charges, right? So the prisons are full. When I say full, I mean full of people with those types of charges, and they are not going to allow you to do anything to them because they'll be liable for it, man. But it doesn't,
like, even when she's saying that like that, like the numbers, like, I don't think, matter of fact, let's just talk about the awareness of that. You know what I'm saying? Because I actually had to sell it with one of them charges at one point in time, which he told me whatever he wanted to tell me, but eventually he ended up coming out telling me exactly what happened. You know what I'm saying? He was wrong for what he done. It wasn't a sexual charge. They charged him with a sexual, but he actually abused, you know what I'm saying, physically abused the child. You know what I'm saying? And they was extorting him, you know what I'm saying, at one point in time for that. But people, like, because you just said when you got to that prison, it was a high percentage, 60-70% of the compound. When you're talking about a compound, how many people is on a compound?
Okay, on average, well, except for like at one of the other, we got a prison in this state that's got like 3,200, right? But the rest of them, they anywhere from 900, like this place, from 900 to like 2,000. So the compound that I was on at that time, it had like 1,200, 1,300.
So you got 1,200, 1,300, and you saying almost half of them?
Way more than half, yes. More than half of them had some kind of sexually related charge, absolutely. Yeah. Right.
So, man, that's horrible. And then, man, hold on, because we're not. Then when you say a sexual charge, we ain't just talking about child rape. We talking about just rape in general, whether it be a grown man, or
rape,
woman, whatever.
Rape of a child, rape of an adult, child porn, all of that.
So, and people think on the outside, like even how movies portray it. Like I see people when they post stuff on Facebook or on social media. And these high-profile cases, whether it be teachers or a janitor or whoever it is, you know what I'm saying, when they catch them kind of charges, when you go through the comment section, all you see is people saying, I can't wait till when he get to prison, I hope they do A, B, and C to him. And they think these people with these kind of charges, they think people with those kind of charges go to prison and get treated horribly. And really, they don't. They come to prison comfortable. They come to prison. And I ain't wishing it on them. I'm just educating people on, y'all think they having a bad experience, and it's
not Hollywood.
Yeah,
but here's the thing, they do get ostracized, but here's the thing that I think a lot of people don't understand about that, right? You know, in prison you gotta always remember the black market, right? So it becomes a business, man. Mm-hmm. You feel me? So you don't run the money off. You don't make money if you run them all to PC. Mm-hmm. You keep them on the compound and make them pay protection, and that's what the majority of them do. You know what I'm saying? So they allow them to walk around, tell you whatever cover story that you want to tell. You know, if you got somebody that's got a child rape charge, they'll come out and say, man, yeah, I was messing with my girlfriend. Both of us was teenagers, you know what I'm saying? And then her parents got mad at me. They went down and told the police. It's not the truth at all, nowhere near this. It's their cover story. So they tell the cover story so the people on the compound can say, okay, I understand that, right? But most people know that they're lying. They just don't want to go there. Why? Because either they are being extorted by one of the gangs or somebody else, and it's hands off.
So
it's hands off.
Let me ask you this: back then versus now, did you? Because a lot of people think they get treated some type of way by the officers. Did you see back in the day like how officers treated inmates who had those kind of charges? Like, was it like a green light or letting inmates in their cell, like doing stuff with turning the blind?
Yeah. Back in the day, Back in the day, they turned their back. If something's gonna go down, they turn their back and walk away. Or they'll pop the door and walk off. They know what it is. They know what's gonna happen. Or when they go to the shower, the officer might lead a unit. You know what I'm saying? Lead a pod rather, because they know what's gonna happen.
Right.
They more than likely, situations that I was around, they had already been told, look, man, you might want to leave the pod at 6 o'clock, man. Don't get due, blah, 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 blah. Then they'll leave the pod and let it go down. Right. And then when the person comes to them saying that I've been raped or whatever the case may be, they'll be like, man, go on back to the cell, man. You want to check in or what?
Right.
If you don't want to check in, go on back to the cell. Ain't nobody think about that. Right. And then if they did say they wanted to check in, the officer would come in the pod, let it be known, man, look here, we got somebody out here want to check in. So I got to get all this stuff, and they'll say that to give everybody else time to go take care of all this stuff from them. You You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
It was back in the day.
Now let me ask you this. Now when you talked about gangs extorting people with those types of charges, could it be multiple gangs? Because the times I experienced people getting extorted, or you know what I'm saying, or being charged in prison, that gang almost turned into their protection.
No, it is. That's exactly what it's for. This is exactly what it's for. But most of the time, most of the gangs that I was familiar with that was doing that is like Aryan Nation type. You know what I'm saying? That was one of their main sources of income. You know what I mean?
Right.
They would hunt them down. Now, here's the kicker though on that though. If it was somebody black that had a rape charge, they would always go to the black gangs and say, "Look, is dude off limits? Can we get at him too?" And most of the time, even though that person had a rape charge, the black gangs say, "No, you can't do that. We're not gonna let you get at him."
Right.
Because part of the extortion, truth be told, they go on there and most of the time they would sexually assault them. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
They go on and break them all the way down, man. You know what I'm saying? Stick their finger in their booty, whatever. You feel what I mean?
Right.
And so even though this black person had a rape charge, the black gangs was like, "No, we're not going to let y'all do that because you know what it is." You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I seen that happen one time when we was in Northeast. I don't remember if you remember, but I remember the Aryan Nations, they had got into it with somebody. It was a black dude. Yeah. And I think they tried to jump. I can't remember what it was, but that was the first time I seen the entire compound as far as black people, regardless of what they were. You know what I'm saying? Everybody kind of came together and was like, "Oh, no, that ain't, you know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't going to do that."
No, that ain't happening.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen.
When you see like, let's say it was a white dude that's not affiliated with that kind of stuff, right? Then, they let the fight happen. But if it's somebody that's in an Aryan group, all that old neo-Nazi stuff. Now you ain't finna put your hands on nobody, black or brown. I don't care what they did. I don't care what they in here. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying?
And then it's another thing about people with those type of charges. You know, people, like I said, on the internet, social media, when they drag people with those type of charges, what they don't understand is, regardless of how many people done said they wish A, B, and C, and X, Y, and Z happened to them, or when they get to prison, they want all of these people. They got loved ones too, and these people. They call home or they writing and saying how they being treated. They loved ones gonna call to the prison just like anybody else loved one with a burglary charge, a theft charge, a kidnapping charge, a murder charge. They gonna call the administration and at some point, get what? If the administration ain't doing what they supposed to do, if they following the process as far as grievance, you know what I'm saying, and the paper trail, by the time they try to get, you know what I'm saying, bigger people involved, you know what I'm saying, they ain't got no choice but to do their job. So people thinking that because you got that kind of charge and you go to the penitentiary, they going to be able to do whatever they want to do to you. Listen, them folks got the same rights as anybody else, you know what I'm saying, in prison.
Yeah, the irony in all of that is this, right? You know, the people on the streets, when there's something like that happen and they wish bad on the people that had those particular type of charges, you know, when I hear people say that, what I hear is this: all of those animals in there, they're going to get at you. You know what I'm saying? They don't care about us in general. They just want the animals to do what animals do. You know what I mean?
That's a good point you make right there. They don't even look at people, you know what I'm saying, having sympathy or understanding. They look at it like, you going in there, they just going to...
Yeah. We're all animals, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to get them because they did this and did that. And then a lot of guys in here say, well, that could have been my son, that could have been my daughter, that could have been my wife, that could have been my sister. And I say, you are absolutely right. But then let me ask you something. You got convicted for murder, right? And they'd be like, yeah, well, that could have been my son, that could have been my daughter, that could have been my wife, that could have been my sister. See what I'm saying?
Right.
We have this hierarchy in here that separates that, right? Again, don't get it twisted. I'm against all of it. You know what I'm saying? I'm against all of it now. My mindset is totally different. But at the end of the day, people forget that those individuals, they have loved ones too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And when you come up in here, it's rough like that. But it's not as bad as it used to be for them, because the administration, I think, they've wised up to these lawsuits and stuff like that. Even though they have these horrible charges, they cannot allow them to be assaulted with their knowledge. You feel what I'm saying? And ain't no walking out of the bar and turning your head no more. They got to do something about it. You feel me?
Right. Commercial break me real quick, please. You know what I'm saying? If y'all ain't tuned in to my daddy podcast, he got a podcast. It's called Doing Time with Joe. It's spelled DOIN, Time with Joe. And the people who already have subscribed to the podcast or want to listen to the podcast, you know what I'm saying, we appreciate that. But I want y'all to do me a favor. Jump in the comment section and type out the name of the podcast or put the link on there, because no matter how many times I put the link on there or say what the podcast is, still people saying that they can't find it. So if everybody say the same thing with me, maybe they'll see, you know what I'm saying, that they missed something or they misspelling something. And then, like I said, today, Pop's birthday, man. If you want to do anything for Pop, you can cash at me, say happy birthday, Big Joe. I'll know it go to him, you know what I'm saying. I'll send it to him. And if you want to hit him on the, send it to his books, you have to go to PayPal, and I'll put his information in the description on the video.
Yeah.
And another thing real quick I wanted to talk about, because I had somebody ask me a question about prison yesterday. They were talking about officers doing their job in there, because there's so many videos that go viral about prison, you know what I'm saying, about the food,
right.
the food that we able to get, you know what I'm saying, people, officers bringing in from the outside, drugs, phones,
right.
you know what I'm saying, all this old type of stuff. What people don't understand is they think it's a million officers walking around on the compound. It's one officer in the unit, and this is what I tried to explain to the person. A lot of times, when an officer first get there, you know what I'm saying, they might be hyped up about the job and doing this and doing that, but it's a real, it turns into a real reality check when you run across somebody. For instance, this man might have 100 years in prison, and the only thing he want to do is use his cell phone. And you come in there, and the minute you say, I'm gonna take this phone from you, and he threatened your life. As an officer, you did have to decide, is it worth me taking this phone and I only work here 8 hours a day from somebody who got 100 years in prison, and the only thing he want to do is talk. They have to decide, like, how do I want to do my job when I come here?
Right. And in most environments, you know what I'm saying, they decide that it's not worth my life.
Right.
And they'll turn their head, you know what I'm saying? And how can you blame them? How can you blame them? Because at the end of the day, they're asking these people to do things that don't equal up to the pay that they're getting.
Right.
They're not paying these people enough to put their lives on the line for somebody that, to deal with somebody that's got, like you said, 100 years, in some cases 400 years. I know some people with 300-400 years that all they want to do is drink their liquor, you know what I'm saying, try to numb, you know what I'm saying, themselves to the reality of their situation. And if you come and get in the way of that, you got problems, man.
Have you ever seen a situation where it was a guy with a lot of time and an officer maybe came and shook down their cell, found some liquor, and he was just trying to create, and he got sick of it and done something to the officer?
Oh, absolutely. I'm not gonna call the name, but yeah, he stuck the officer.
You have 1 minute remaining.
And it was a female, and he told her, look, leave me alone. All I want to do is drink. This dude has 6 life sentences, man. He said, I just want to drink my liquor. Leave me alone. She didn't want to hear that. She went and got it, and he hit her up and almost killed her. I think he hit her like 18 times. Almost killed her. And then threw her in the closet and shut the closet door so they couldn't even get to her.
Y'all want to hear that story? Y'all want to hear that story? Y'all gonna have to go tune into the podcast, Doing Time with Joe. You know what I'm saying? It's been a blessing. It's Pop's birthday, man. Y'all wish Pops a happy birthday. Hit him something on the cash app or go to JPay. I'm gonna put the information in the description. Y'all know how it is, man. We appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Pops, you got something you want to say?
Yeah, I appreciate everything. I appreciate everything and everybody. All the love that I have in me, I'll send towards everybody out there. I appreciate all the support. Love you too, man. For sure.
You finna hit me back?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Man, look, he off the phone, but I just want to let y'all know, man, my dad is extremely excited about how many people don't want to listen to the podcast. You know what I'm saying? The responses he see in the comment section. My daddy, I'm 34. I'll be 35 in December. My pops has been gone for 33 years. I really appreciate, you know what I'm saying, everybody who done said something or commented, you know what I'm saying, when my pops do, when we do our interview, because I get to hear how alive y'all are making it for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, him being able to read them comments saying free Joe and y'all enjoying the conversation and how he sound and stuff like that, like it's major to him. So I just want to let y'all know I appreciate that before I accept this call, man. Y'all wish my pops happy birthday, man. This much love.